Hello and welcome to Fit News. I am your host, Jen Shaver, and on this podcast, my goal is to share with you knowledge to help you as a midlife woman age successfully. Often I have other health experts on as guests, or occasionally it's just me going solo. Today, I have a very special guest that I really wanted you to get to know because I believe she represents every woman out there. My guest today is Tina Lacey. Tina has been married to her wonderful husband for 37 years. She is a mom of 4 sons, a mother-in-law to 3 amazing ladies. She is also the grandmother of almost 5, 1 granddaughter, 3 grandsons, and 1 more grandson due in October. Congratulations. She is 61 years young and is a retired teacher, but was a stay-at-home mom for almost 20 years. Tina is here today to share her health journey so that you can see how staying healthy is possible and important as you age. Tina, thank you so much for joining us here today on Fit News.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to chat with you. First, I found you on Instagram, and that's how we kind of connected.
Yep.
And I have enjoyed watching your journey throughout. But let's talk about, have you always been into exercise? Has exercise always been a part of your life?
Yes, it has. I have 5 older siblings,
Wow.
4 of them boys, brothers. They were all athletes, and my sister was a cheerleader. I was the youngest. And so I guess my dad was pretty active too. So I've been actually started running track when I was like 8 or 9. We participated the city events, just everybody, they called them all comers. And then I ran track all through high school. And so I've always been into fitness, and I was a leader too. So I did gymnastics and stuff, but I kind of fell off the wagon in college. It was kind of hard to get to a gym, even though that's a lie. It wasn't hard to get to a gym. I just did. I started teaching, and then I joined a gym. I actually started teaching aerobics and the step aerobics. And then when we moved, I just joined another gym, and I've just been doing aerobics for most of the time. About late 40s, a friend of mine got me into some weightlifting, and we did that for a few years, and then we kind of stopped, and all I did was cardio again. But about 6 years ago, I got really serious about lifting weights and got a trainer. And so for 6 years, I've been doing consistent weightlifting. Part of the problem was my sister had osteopenia, right? Is that how you say it? And I knew that I was possibility for me. So I decided I needed to fix those bones. I really had no intention of just like wanting to build muscles or whatever and look muscular. I just wanted to do resistance training for my bones and my health.
Right. And you know what? That's reason enough, right?
Then the muscles started coming, and I started getting addicted.
Yeah. Well, I love it. So you have been doing strength training. Do you do any cardio, or are you strictly strength training?
I try to get 10,000 steps in now. For a while, I was getting really lazy. Everyone was like, you can't be lazy if you're lifting weights. But I would lift weights for 45 minutes to an hour, and then I wouldn't do anything else. And so I was kind of starting to feel like a slug. And I'm like, I don't really need to burn that many calories. So I just decided I'm just going to start doing the 10,000 steps. And it's been the best thing for me, because you can do a lot while you're walking. I will walk around and stop and do something, and then I'll walk around my house. And sometimes I'll do the elliptical. And when the weather's not 110, I will walk outside.
Yeah. And I want to focus on this because you bring up a great point, and several within that. And that is, number one, the 10,000 steps thing is so important, especially as we age. A lot of women will say, as you said, well, I'm doing my strength training, right? But when we look at our full day, if that's the exercise that we do, and then we go and we sit at a desk or whatever it might be, that's a really small percentage of our day.
And, sure. So I went back to teaching after my 20 years of being a stay-at-home mom. So I taught again for like 6 years. And I got 20,000 steps, 10,000 steps in, no problem.
Right.
If you have a job where you're not sitting down, I had no problem getting my 10,000. But then as I retired and just kind of got, oh, I'm just going to relax, I got to where I was hardly getting 2,000 steps a day. And I was like, oh, this is not a good thing.
Right. And often there's this myth that, oh, it's our metabolism that's slowing down. It's not the metabolism that's slowing down. It's us that is slowing down. And there are studies out there that show this. So, we can't just be sitting there saying, oh, our metabolism. No, it's not. It's you. You're slowing down. And, that accountability of saying 10,000 steps. And, it's not saying that we have to exercise more. It's we have to move more, like you said, throughout the day. Yeah.
Even if you walk or even doing elliptical, whatever, those don't burn that many calories. So if you're trying to lose weight just by doing, cardio and the machine, you're not going to do it if you're eating still, so that's why I was like, you don't really need, and my heart seems to be doing just fine,
Right.
And my moving is just as good. You just got.
Yeah. You have to keep moving. Don't stop moving, right? Motion is lotion.
Lose it, right?
Right. Use it or lose it. Let's talk about the impact that your exercise has had on your family. So in terms of like your boys, right? And you exercising, how did that impact your family? Are they exercisers now? Like growing up, were they athletic and
or played all the athletics that they could. My boys were all kind of small, and so once they got to high school, they really couldn't compete. My oldest son didn't grow even until he was a junior in high school. So he started high school at 5'4", and he wanted basketball, and he was on the team, but it was pretty bad. Now he's 6'3". He's
wow.
He grew so much after high school. But anyway, boys have all been into exercise. A couple of them lift weights. They've been to ultimate frisbee was a big thing with them.
Yeah.
They played it in college, and they still play it now. One of my sons was actually on a professional team for a while.
Wow.
So they all are into exercise and keeping fit.
Yeah. So they have learned from you. I mean, you modeled healthy behavior. They're always watching, right? And
definitely.
That's wonderful. How about your husband?
Yes, he lifts weights. He's not into it as much as I am. He lifts weights. He walks on he made a treadmill into a walking desk. And so he morning for an hour while he's checking emails and stuff like that. And he also 3 days a week.
Good.
And even he retired, he does his own home business. And so he does that. But even before he retired, he'd get up at 5 a.m. and go work out. So
good. That's nice that it's definitely health is a priority in your home.
Yes, definitely.
What impact have you noticed from your strength training as you age?
Oh, wow. A lot.
Yeah.
Completely changed my body composition. When I started, it was a summer between school sessions. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to try to get myself back into it. And that's all I did was weightlifting. And I lost 5 pounds. Didn't change my eating habits at all. So it just completely changes your body composition. And then when I started thinking, okay, now I've looked up stuff and I go, okay, I got to get enough protein. And it has really made a huge difference in my metabolism. I have a much higher metabolism now. I'm eating now up to 2,200 calories a day. And I just keep getting stronger, and I'm not gaining. I've gained some weight, but I was under eating before.
Yeah.
And so that's, I was too skinny.
Yeah.
Everyone, but I was like, no, I'm not. Now I realized I was, but anyway.
Yeah. But I think that under eating, I think in particular for, many women who are now currently in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, that was kind of what we were brought up doing, right?
Yeah.
Was under eating. I mean, you look in the magazine at the grocery store and it says, oh, you should be eating 1,200 calories a day. And it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
no. That is not sustainable.
Yeah. And you just won't, you won't stay on it. And that's what happens by yo-yo dieters. You gotta get, and if you want to lose weight, you definitely need to eat in a calorie deficit. But but if you start lifting weights and start gaining muscle, then you can up your calories, because you're going to start burning more.
Right.
It just completely changes everything. And I don't know, people, and it's not just, picking up a little few weights. I mean, that's good still. But I mean, if you really change your composition, you really have to try to, resistance training and improve, don't stay pounds for, 6 months, try to get heavier.
Right. Right. And when it comes to, I have seen on Instagram you with your grandkids running around and having fun, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're definitely the fun grandma.
Let's hope so, right?
But the thing is that that's kind of should be the goal, right? Is to be able to keep up with the grandkids.
Yeah, I want to be able to do whatever they want me to do with them, And Asher and I watch Asher twice a week, and his little brother, but his brother can't walk yet. Yeah. And we'll set up little obstacle courses around their kitchen, and we just run around them, okay, let's crawl on. He puts out these little nuggets, these huge cushions, and we'll crawl on this one, and let's hop on this one, and we go around this, and we just keep making different stuff up, and he loves it. Yeah. And, keeps me moving, and it keeps him moving, and, it's a lot of fun too. Right. I just think it's the greatest thing ever. Yeah.
And that's just it. It's, you're involved with your grandkids, and you're able to keep up with them. And that just creates such a great and fun relationship with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let's talk just a little bit about your workouts. In terms of your strength training, do you go to a gym? Do you do it at home? Do you do a mix of both? What?
I do a mix of both. 6 years ago, I was going to the gym and just doing my elliptical, for an hour a day.
As most ladies do, right? Because that, again, going back to our age group, the 60s, the 50 and 40 ladies, that's what we thought we had to do, right? We hop on the elliptical or whatever. Yeah.
And I got, it's a very small gym, so I got to know a lot of the trainers and stuff there. And this one guy kept coming up to me and goes, "So when you want to start lifting some weights?" I'm like, nah, I do it every once in a while. And he came up to me one summer, the beginning of a summer. I said, "You know what? I think I'll take you on for the summer." I said, "For the next 2 months, I want to, work out with you, get me started again. I want to get in another routine, and then I'll be done." And well, 6 years later, I'm still working out with him.
I love it.
So, and we've gone from 2 days a week to 4 days a week, which I know everyone can't afford that. Totally know, and I mean, we're retired and we don't have any kids. So, that's worth it to me. But, but you could do it for just a couple months and learn what you need to learn, and then put that in your own routine. I could quit going to him and I could probably maintain, but I like the accountability, and he pushes me, and so I just keep going. It's fun.
Yeah.
So,
and I love it.
Usually do different body parts, like on Monday do back and triceps, and then Wednesday legs, and then Friday we do shoulders and biceps, and then Saturdays a whole lower body. That's kind of keep that booty up. It's going down, get older as well.
Exactly. Well, and it's a very large muscle group, right? So if we work that.
And then they're, people just think it's just for aesthetics, but it's an important muscle.
Right. I mean, if we want to get up and off the couch or continue to play with the grandkids, or, God forbid we fall, right? We got to protect our hips. So
yes, definitely.
Is there anything that you would have done sooner or changed about your journey?
I wish I would have started lifting weights seriously sooner, but there are times in your life where, it's harder for certain things and then other things. Oh, and I didn't really know much about weightlifting. I know how you are. You're intimidated to go try and, you got all these men that big muscles and they're just throwing weights around and you're like, oh, I'm just going to look like an idiot, So I do wish I would have done it sooner, but now there's way more women in the gym and it's not as intimidating. And yeah, but other than that, I've always been moving and I've never had a weight problem. So I've done well. I'm also not a person who cares that much about food. So it has been hard for me not to overeat because I eat to eat, I like my, goodies and stuff, but it's just food's not been a problem for me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And what is one thing, if you could tell your 20 or 30-year-old self, or if you could tell a 20 or 30-year-old woman that's sitting next to you, what would you tell her? What advice would you give her about?
Oh, I tell my daughter-in-laws, I said, you need to weight train.
Yeah.
They know I do because they also follow me on Instagram. But I said, that's the most important thing. If for nothing else, for your bones.
Right.
We women need to keep our bones strong. And if you want to, keep the weight off, I think weightlifting is better than anything else.
Right.
So, and don't be afraid. There's so many programs now, like you can get apps that tell you what to do. You can watch YouTube videos. You can learn so much now that you kind of don't have an excuse.
Yeah. 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 And, and it's like you said, it's not necessarily just about the aesthetics,
right?
But, maintaining a healthy weight also has other implications, right? Because we know that being overweight leads to many health issues, heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers. I mean, the list goes on and on. So it's not, just, and you also said, I used to be too skinny, right? So it's about being strong so you can do the things in life that you enjoy.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any goals in terms of, is it continue lifting? Is it to continue to keep up with your grandkids? Are those?
All of those.
Yeah.
I've just recently made some other goals just for fun, I had to do a pull-up.
Yeah.
Or pull-ups, which is really, really difficult. But I keep seeing women my age doing them. I'm like, okay, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to. So that's one of my goals. Yeah. Just do a pull-up, and get better at push-ups and stuff like that. But yeah, I just want to stay strong and injury-free. That's the other thing. I watch some of these girls on Instagram. Some of them are even my age, and they're doing all these crazy exercises. And I'm like, well, that's great, but I don't want to be hurt. Right. I don't want to back or twist, and you don't have to do crazy one. You don't have to do that crazy stuff. That the CrossFit, I think it's great for those people who love it, especially the young kids. But you do that. You can do your basic weightlifting and do just because you can get hurt doing those things. You can get hurt doing anything, but if you have something where you're not moving so many parts at once, you're less likely to get hurt.
Right. Yeah. Squats, push-ups, keep it simple, and you'll stay strong in the long term.
Yeah, I agree.
Tina, is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience regarding your journey or your strength training or anything they need to know?
Eat food.
Yeah.
Eat your food and your protein. Protein is so important. I guess I didn't realize this, but I guess a lot of women, when they're dieting, cut out the protein.
Right.
I guess think they need to eat bunny rabbit food or something, but protein is so important, and what did they say? 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per body weight, but yeah, just get protein in every meal, I think is the most important. And do your weightlifting, even if you can't get to a gym, pick up some cans like we all did during 2020, Bands, even you can get bands. Bands are super cheap.
Yeah.
On you can just get those, and that's still resistance training, and they can be pretty hard, because
Right.
you can ones with higher and higher resistance.
Yeah.
That would be move, eat protein, and lift weights.
Yep. And this is why I love you, Tina. We're on the same mission. Well, if our listeners want to follow along with your journey, where can they find you?
I only do Instagram, but I'm at fitness_after_60 is my, actually I have 2 sites, but that's the one I'm on most right now.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, Tina, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate you joining us here on Fit News.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.